These are notes for section 1.5, solving equations with variables on both sides. So we've spent a couple of weeks now talking about solving equations, and the process doesn't change regardless of what kind of equation you have. As you can see on the screen, the steps to solve are still to distribute and combine like terms, and these are things that we've been talking about now, like I said, for a couple of weeks. A quick refresher on distributing, combining like terms. If you have a set of parentheses in the equation, something like this, to get rid of those parentheses, you have to distribute, which means you're multiplying. When you multiply, 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 3 would be plus 6. After you distribute, you look to see if there's any like terms to combine, put things together that go together. An example of this might be negative 4x plus 7 plus 2x. Well, here, this negative 4 plus 2x, those are like terms. They both have an x. So I combine negative 4 plus 2 would give me negative 2x plus 7. The 7 doesn't combine with anything. Now, when you introduce an equation with a variable on both sides of the equal sign, well, then we have this step which I call pick on the little guy. And that's to help the students remember which variable to move. And I would say always move the smaller of the two variables. So we're talking about moving the smaller of the two variables. Move smallest variable. And then from there, we're using the steps that we've already discussed to get x by itself, inverse operations. So let me walk through 3 examples with us. On number 1, again, we look for parentheses to distribute. I don't see any, so we don't distribute. When we're talking about combining like terms, we're talking about on the same side of the equal sign. Well, this 9x and 2 don't go together, and this 8x plus 7 go together. A common mistake is kids will try to say, well, 9 and 8 are like terms. Well, they are, but they're on opposite sides of the equal sign. So I don't combine those because they're not on the same side. So there's no distributing, there's no like terms. So now I pick on the little guy. I find 9x and 8x. Which one is smaller? Well, 8 is. To get rid of a plus 8, you subtract 8. To get rid of a positive 8, we can subtract. 9 minus 8 would just be x, or 1x. And now that I've only got one variable, or a variable on one side of the equation, I can do inverse operations. The opposite of minus 2 is plus 2, and I get x equal 9. So a lot of the steps are the same. It's just now we have variables on both sides. We need to distribute, combine like terms, and then pick on the little guy, find the smaller of the two variables. On number 2, to get rid of the parentheses, I distribute. That would be 2x plus 10. And at the same time, on the right-hand side of the equation, I have like terms. So I can combine those. X plus 2x is 3x plus 10. So I've distributed. I've combined like terms. Now I pick on the little guy, the smaller of the two variables. I subtract 2x from both sides because 2 is smaller than 3. So that leaves me with 10 equals x plus 10 because 3 minus 2 is 1. I'm trying to get x by itself, so to get rid of a plus 10, I subtract 10, and I get x is equal to 0. And on the last one, number 3. Again, I look to see if there's any parentheses. It's always the same steps. Distribute, combine like terms, pick on the little guy. When I distribute, I'm multiplying. After I distribute, I go through and combine like terms. This 4x minus x go together. They're on the same side. So I combine those. 4 minus 1 is 3. So after I distribute, after I combine like terms, I pick on the little guy. I find the smaller of the two variables. Well, 1x is smaller than 3, so I subtract it. 3 minus 1 is 2x. Now that I only have one variable left, or a 2x, I'm working to get that by itself. So to get rid of a plus 12, I can subtract. And to get rid of a times 2, I can divide. And I'm left with x equals 3/2. So again, a quick recap here. The steps to solve have been the same and will be the same. Distribute combined like terms. We've talked about those in sections 1.1 and 1.2. The new stuff in 1.5 would be moving the smaller of the two variables after you distribute combined like terms, and then we're working to get x on a side by itself. Hopefully that helps. Thanks.